I'm hereby addressing the importance of digital literacy. What exactly is digital literacy? Digital literacy is the ability to use digital technology such as computers, laptops, smartphones, effectively and responsibly to find information. So, why is digital literacy important? Digital literacy is important because you get to have an access to find information, easily get answers without working too hard or thinking too much. You also get updated by the news that are happening around the world. Also help the economy and businesses. Since nowadays, a lot of businesses use social media to market their product online so that their product can be exposed worldwide, around the world. So, 74% of the world population, that is about 6 billion of people, use internet, making digital literacy an essential skill for education, work, and communication. How can technology help help solve community problems? Well, township areas face many daily challenges, from long queues to load shedding and food security. However, technology does not have to be complicated or expensive. The most effective tool or solution in township is that most learners had smartphones, but not all of them afford to buy smartphones. Technology in township is therefore about using simple digital tools to solve real problems, faster, cheaper, and most importantly, private. Also, more advanced technology can help the process of purifying water faster and more efficient, and detect possible threats like contaminated water, since in our community we have a problem of a shortage of water. Technology can also be used by farmers to detect climate changes, weather, so that they can know the right time to plant certain plants according to their different seasons. Thank you.
Firstly, I would like us to define technology and understand what are barriers so that we can get through together and yeah. So, technology is the use of tools, systems, and digital platforms like computers, smartphones, the internet, and AI to solve problems, communicate, and create opportunities. Whereas barriers are the challenges or obstacles that make it hard for people to use those tools, which are from technology. So, many township learners face barriers to technology, and stats may show that only 39% of Black African households have internet. Other barriers include expensive data, no laptops, load shedding, and few coding clubs nearby. Because of these barriers, skills like digital literacy and coding and software development are much harder to learn. But technology and innovation also create big opportunities. Projects like EC's Wi-Fi has reached over 1.8 million people in townships since 2013. With just our phones, we can learn artificial intelligence, take free coding courses, or start businesses online. Through entrepreneurship and innovation, we can build solutions for our communities, like safe apps, e-commerce, or online tutoring. Cybersecurity and financial literacy help us stay safe and smart with money as we grow into careers. Of the future. So, Guys, what I'd like to say is that if we reduce the barriers and use technology well, township learners won't just participate in technology or the fourth industrial revolution, but they will be leading it. Thank you.
Remember this. Albert Einstein once said, "The value of education lies not in the facts we learn, but in the training of the mind to think." And that one statement tells us exactly what skills will matter in the next 10 years. Because the future won't reward you for how many facts you've memorized, but will reward you by your ability to think when facts change. Firstly, thinking skills. A trained mind asks better questions. That's critical thinking. A trained mind imagines new options. That's creativity. A trained mind isn't afraid of new tools. That's digital fluency. And a trained mind can test, adjust, and try again without shutting down. And that is problem solving. Technology will continuously evolve as time proceeds. So your edge isn't knowing every tool, it's having a mind that can figure tools out. Albert Einstein wasn't asking us to collect information, but rather to train our minds to think and use information well. Second, human skills. A trained mind can also understand people. Communication trains your mind to make ideas clear. Teamwork trains your mind to see from other angles. Emotional intelligence trains your mind to stay steady under pressure. No machine in the world can replace a mind that knows how to listen, adapt, and build trust. Thirdly, growth skills. Now, this is where Albert Einstein's quote hits the most, because a mind trained to think never stops learning. Let me repeat that. A mind trained to think never stops learning. Curiosity, resilience, and the ability to start again as a beginner. Now that's how a trained mind stays trained. However, as you know, South Africa has a major inequalities such as economic development and infrastructure and technological resource availability. Now the question I want to answer is, how can the government and the private sector bridge the digital divide? Let's first understand what is the digital divide. A digital divide is the gap between demographics and regions that have access to modern information and technology. The digital divide affects the ability to connect and the skills to navigate through the digital world. Now, there are various factors that contribute towards South Africa's digital divide. First, the affordability gap. Inability to pay for internet connectivity is an example of the affordability gap. The access gap. Not having access to smart devices and connectivity is an example of the access gap. And thirdly, the literacy gap. The lack of digital skills is an example of the literacy gap. Now, how can the government bridge this gap? Government should grant financial aid such as device grants to students and learners so that they can have access to smart devices that can contribute towards broadening their technological horizons and improving digital literacy. Government can also provide public hotspots to offer internet connectivity. And this is the most important and most controversial one yet. Government should update the school curriculum. This primarily because the education system, especially in disadvantaged parts of the country, is failing to fully equip us with skills that will be needed in the evolving technological economy. Digital literacy and computer subjects should be made more available to public schools. Now, what can the private sector do to bridge the gap? The private sector can bridge South Africa's digital divide by funding rural network infrastructure, subsidizing affordable smart devices, and partnering with the state to provide educational connectivity. These initiatives directly address foundational inequalities and are essential to unlocking long-term economic growth. long-term economic growth and economic development. By concluding, I would like to remind you of the words of the great Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Well, digital literacy is becoming part of that weapon. I thank you.